Hey guys, Brian here. Hope your week's going great. I thought I'd do a quick video here, kind of freeform, just to talk about politics, elections, and what really drives voters to choose one candidate over another. This is a really interesting topic. If you're not familiar with the socionomic view of elections, stay with me. It's probably quite a bit different than you're used to. All right, guys, welcome back. So the inspiration for this video came as I was writing last month's newsletter. I'm actually living in Colombia right now, which just elected its first leftist president in history. Colombia, historically conservative, kind of an anomaly in Latin America. And a leftist president, it's either the best thing to happen in Colombia or the worst thing, depending on who you talk to. Anyway, there's a lot that goes into the socionomic view. I just want to touch on three main points. First thing is the idea of keeping the status quo versus throwing the bums out, right? The incumbent candidate or their party, they get the blame when things are bad, right? Socionomically, we'd say that persistently falling stock prices, that reflects a negative mood trend, and voters decide to throw out the incumbent who symbolizes their downbeat feelings, right? It's the exact opposite in a bull market. The electorate wants to retain the leader who symbolizes their upbeat feelings. So this is all very intuitive, but it's still kind of misunderstood because what it implies is that the mood of the electorate is way more important than the actual positions of the candidates. It's funny, as elections were going on in Colombia, I'm actually writing about elections in France. And over there, the National Rally, Marine Le Pen's party, that's a far-right party, they just won 89 seats in the French parliament. So exact opposite of Colombia, you had voters throwing out the left and electing the right. And obviously there's another very famous example in November of 2008 in the US. Voters threw out the right, they elected the left. That's when Obama came into office in the middle of a financial crisis. A week later, voters in New Zealand threw out the left and elected the right. In both cases, the electorate claimed to be celebrating new ideas. Political pundits were talking about a new era. The candidates themselves claimed to be elected to fix the economy. This is all a charade in our opinion. What mattered was the desire to change the leader, and that desire does not depend on the positions of the candidate. It depends on the mood of the electorate, which is reflected in stock prices. Now, second point I want to touch on relates to centrists versus extremists. I gave a speech one time in Atlanta where I used the metaphor of a centrifuge, right? A negative mood trend, it kind of pulls votes away from centrist candidates and it just flings them toward the edges, toward the extremists, right? In the 30s and 40s bear market, we saw communists and fascists challenge our political institutions. In the 70s, we saw fringe political parties and candidates challenging the status quo. There's a famous example in 2009 again. There were parliamentary elections in Europe just after the 2009 low in stocks. During those elections, the British National Party, so this is a far-right, pretty much a fascist party, been around since 1982, never had much success, but just after a 50% collapse in stock prices, the BNP got enough votes to win 2 seats in parliament. That is the power of social mood. Okay, now the third thing I just want to comment on briefly is maybe some political strategy. Personally, I have no interest in politics as a career, but if that's your thing, go for it. Just understand that timing is everything. When the Republican Party in the States, when they won the presidency in 1928, they sealed their fate for a generation, right? The stock market collapsed. The economy went into the toilet. The Democrats, they won the White House in 1932. They won the Congress in 1932. The Republicans would not return to the presidency for another 20 years. You do not want to be in office during a big bear market. You can have the best policies, the best ideas, the best advisors. The electorate is still going to hate you again because you symbolize their downbeat feelings. So one quick final thought here. This brings up a counterintuitive political strategy that is certainly not lost on socionomists. In fact, before the 2020 election in the United States, Bob kind of joked, half joked in The Theorist, that you should probably vote for the candidate who you like the least. Okay, theory being, big bear market is coming, that negative mood is gonna punish the party in office and set up the opposing party for future success. Now, whatever your political leanings are, I don't really care. Our overriding message at EWI is to organize your life, organize your finances, your living situation in a way to capitalize, to prosper on a positive mood trend, and organize it in a way to prosper in a negative mood trend. Investing in those environments are two totally different animals. If you need help with this, we have tons of resources available.